Hi, everyone. It is Starlene Breiter and Fiona Stolze. We are here today doing our Clarity and Guidance show. We're going to be talking about some different things today, some inspirational messages. I'm going to be working with tarot, and Fiona is going to be working with her beautiful Sea of Calm oracle deck. I love her deck. Isn't it gorgeous? And I will be using the Saki Saki Tarot, which is also a beautiful deck of tarot cards. We're going to give little messages and share a message with everybody, I think, before we start. And we're also open to giving a card for whoever is watching as well. So feel free to hop in, and we'll be talking about the things that we're doing. It's kind of a relaxed and enjoyable show. And we do have a special that we're going to be sharing with you guys at the end of the show, towards the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned in, and we will share our little special with you guys. And if you don't already know us, I'm Starlene. I'm an astrologer. I am a tarot reader, a Reiki healer. I've been doing this work a long time. And I'm going to let Fiona introduce herself to you. So Fiona.
Oh. Hi, Star. Lovely to be back. And welcome those of you who came 2 weeks ago, and all the new people today. And really looking forward to the session. So my name's Fiona. Amongst other things, I do readings with my mandala oracle deck, Sea of Calm. These were all paintings that I did over the years, created my own deck. So it's lovely to share energy with people using these and in sessions. What else do I do? I currently am developing online silk painting classes. Woohoo! A project I've sort of had, I've had that in the back of my mind for a long time, many, many years actually. So it's actually happening now. I do all sorts of things. I'm an artist. I'm just a creative person, and I love to dig deep. So Star, so I'd love to hear how you actually are. How are you, and how's your week been since we last touched base?
I'm doing really good. This past weekend, I had a day-long workshop this past weekend for vibrational astrology at the Nova University. I did it with the NCGR group, which is a national astrology group, and it was really awesome. I got to share, how to work with vibrational astrology, and that was really fun. And I've just been busy doing other things this week, keeping business flowing and that sort of thing. So things are doing really good. I love that you do talk about your artwork, because that's one of the reasons I think you and I connected in a way is through art, because I'm also artistic too. And I don't really do that so much for work anymore, but I used to make jewelry. I do still love making jewelry. I just haven't really made it for work for a while, but I do love it. I think it's something that's really sings to my soul, and something that's really meaningful to me. And I really love sharing, artwork with other people. And I love, looking at other people's art like you do. You have such beautiful work that you have done. I mean, all the things you can see behind you and all of that. It's so cool.
Do you remember that? It's on this side, isn't it? When I used to work for an online company that I won't mention now, give any free advertising to, but a company I worked for, and I had my first scene set up, and I realized I had my hanger behind me. I don't know if you can remember that, when I used to do the readings, and I had the chakra banner there. It's always had a sort of, a place of pride. I don't know. It's been one of my sort of, yes, I like that. I like the energy. So I've kept that with me over the years, definitely. Yeah.
I do. I've always loved that. I think it's so pretty. And I also think that it's one of the, probably one of my favorite, that one, and the Venus Rising painting. I think you have a different name for it, but that one is also one of my favorite paintings as well.
So the one with lots of turquoise, where it's like Venus in transit, where Venus was transiting the sun.
Yes, that one is it. Yeah.
That has a whole story to itself, a story for another day. But it was actually really significant that I finished painting that on the day that Venus was transiting the sun. And it was quite incredible, when you're working on something and you're just sort of totally lost in the process, aren't you? You're sort of deep into it, and then suddenly it clicks and you realize there's a significant link with something. And on that day, we lived in Glastonbury. Oh, I am telling the story now. Here we go. So we lived in Glastonbury at the time, and there were ways to look at it, without damaging your eyesight. And we had this big bowl of water, and it was reflecting, from the sky. And I was just aware of this dark body in the reflection passing by the surface of the sun. And I looked at my painting I'd just finished. I was like, oh, Venus transiting the sun. And it's like, wow. So that was really magical. And it was an orange and turquoise. So, the whole chakra connection. And I thought, wow, this is a powerful one. And it's been a really popular one over the years in terms of, coming up in readings and selling it as cards and prints. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I have that one in a card that you gave me, and I put it in my other office. I have it behind me, and because I loved it that much. It was such a beautiful one, and I love the story behind it too. So I remember that day. I was also painting, but I was painting with actually the mutual friend of ours, the one who introduced us. We were painting together. It's just funny that it happened that day. Yeah.
Here's in the card deck, it actually features, it's the major life transition card. So lots of the turquoise and the orange, the sacral, the creativity, the sensuality, and that turquoise, the really sort of creative. It's like the speaker's color, isn't it? I know blue is for speakers, but the thymus gland, the turquoise, it's a real sort of free expression, getting your voice out there. So I really love it when this one comes up for women, and for me, obviously. In readings, it's very, very powerful. These two colors are complementary. They pop. They've got a lot of energy and power in them. Anyway, see if it comes up today. Who knows? See what happens.
You never know. So do you have a card that you want to start us off with today that you want to maybe share with us? And then I guess I'll pull a tarot card as well.
Okay, let's just, I'll just give them a good shuffle here. It's strange, this whole thing about shuffling cards. I mean, I trust completely that the card that's relevant just arises, and you pick it. You pick the relevant card, and whoever's there at the moment receives the message. It's for you, it's for them, and no matter what time has passed, whoever comes and meets this message and receives it, it's relevant. It's, none of this linear time thing, which we spoke about last time as well. Right. And I'm also very aware how, I don't actually need to mix the cards. It would be enough just to put my hand in and pull one out, and the one that wants to speak then turns up. So hi, Sandy, welcome back. Lovely to see you here.
Oh, yeah, and feel free to say hi if you're in the chat room to us, so feel free to say hi.
So the card that I'm going to share with us this week is the Alchemy card. So see if I can push that a bit high. You see it a bit better now. There we go.
There, yeah, that's a little bit better.
Now, alchemy, yeah, it's, most people know stories about alchemy, don't they? About how the base metal is transmuted into something valuable. And so this card always comes, so looking in terms of what message we might have sort of underlying what happens today, and sort of, just allow it to touch everyone's lives. I would say the message is about looking at where all these mundane things are in your life. The things, thank you, Sandy. Yeah, I love this card too. It's looking at the mundane things in your life, looking at where we take things for granted, looking at where we just tend to look past things, and instead of seeing everything as sacred, because everything is sacred, isn't it? Everything is sacred. Every person, every word, every movement, every gesture, everything. Every stone that you come across, the animals, every breath of fresh air, just being aware that the alchemy is there beneath your fingers. The magic is there in every moment. So it's not about getting into the lab and doing fancy stuff. You find that star that people they get distracted, don't they? They want to make it fancy. They want to make big rituals out of things, but actually the magic and the power is there in the quiet moments, right at our fingertips, isn't it? So I would say the alchemy of today, this meeting we're having, just being aware of all the seemingly ordinary in our lives and seeing how that really is the gold and allowing it to come to full expression and just moving with that and appreciating it for what it is.
Yeah, I love what you said too, because like we want to make things this huge, sometimes we want to make this huge gesture, if you will, about the magic of life, right? We want to make this, like, for instance, I talk about the full moon and the new moon because being an astrologer, those are special moments, and they are. And people will ask me, oh, well, what should I do? What kind of, like, to make that a magical moment? And I'm like, well, the moment is magic because of your attitude towards it. It doesn't matter if you have all the bells and whistles and the candles and the incense and the whatever it is. It really doesn't. You don't need anything but your presence in that moment. Oh my gosh, I got chills saying that. Like, really, all those things are nice. If you love crystals, and I'm a crystal nut, that I love crystals and I love the cards and I love color and all this stuff. But my presence, the presence of anyone in any moment like that, is what makes something magical. So in that sense, I think it's really important for us to remember that. And I love that idea that every moment in and of itself is like the alchemy of that moment. So that's really cool. And I also love the idea that you said of how if you're listening to this a year in the future or whatnot, you are still receiving this message because you needed to hear it. I totally agree with that as well. So that's a very relevant thing, I think, in my doing these kinds of live readings as well too. So let's see what the tarot has to talk to us about today in connection to the alchemy. Okay, so I have the Strength card. Okay, and I'm gonna punch in a little bit so we can see the Strength card well. This is the Strength card. This is the Saki Tarot, so it's the Artist Tarot. And it is a woman holding a lion's mouth shut. And as you can see, she has the infinity symbol above her head there. And normally, like, a woman wouldn't be able to hold a lion's mouth shut. She's just not that strong, right? No human woman usually is. But what this is talking about is having that inner strength, that inner power with yourself, that inner knowing that I can make things happen because I'm powerful from the inside. This really kind of ties in with the alchemy card, because the alchemy card is saying every moment is that magical moment. And she's actually doing magic right here by holding the lion's mouth shut in the space, So I think it's kind of an interesting card to look at from that perspective. And I think it's also ties in with what you were saying, how we can make things special. If there's something that you need to pull from that inner strength, from what's inside of you, if there's something that you need to pull out, then I think it's a great time to do that. Maybe this next week or 2 weeks that are coming up to you, or whatever time it is that you're watching this video and getting this message, maybe there's a time that you need to start to pull from that inner strength, because that inner strength is what really pulls you through, right? As opposed to what is kind of like being fearful or being somewhere in your ego about something, or being worried or concerned. So I really love the inner strength, or this, not inner strength, but the Strength card in this deck here. So,
and that lovely interconnectedness with the figure of 8, the infinity symbol. Love how that keeps coming back and just showing this constant flow, how everything is interconnected. It's like you can't ever not be connected, and that's where the strength comes from, doesn't it? I mean,
right.
Just being completely in that circuit of everything moving. So yeah, lovely.
Yep.
Star, I just noticed that Sandy asked, she said she shared this to her group and she'd love a card.
Oh, thank you, Sandy.
How about we pick a card for Sandy?
Sure. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go? Either way is fine.
I'll just pick out one very fast. I'll not spend half an hour shuffling. Let's just, whoops, out we come. Here we go.
There you go.
Oh, lovely. Okay, Sandy. This is shared to your group. I don't know if this is specifically for you or the group. This is with love, whoever and whatever. Follow your joy. Okay, this is a lovely card. This is a real woman's card. I say woman's card. It's the feminine energy, whether or not you're a male or a female, the sacral energy. It's all about just tuning into that gorgeous, vibrant, passionate flow, that feminine energy that draws you to sing, that draws you to put gorgeous music on and start moving to the beat. You know, wearing, if you've got lovely long flowy clothes, put them on, let them move. Just underpin, emphasize that gorgeous energy in you that's just dying to find expression, dying to find a voice, and dying to come out. You know the phrase, dance or sing as if no one's listening. That's what this one's about, you know? You take the phone off the hook. Not showing my age, we don't take the phone off the hook these days, but you know what I mean. Switch the phone off and close the doors and just be in a space all unto yourself and let your voice sing. I love to actually put chants on, some gorgeous sacred chants, and just let the sound move from the heart, from my inner being. And it's amazing how you sometimes get these urges while you're dancing and moving around. Get in the shower and do it. Being in the shower is always a fabulous one too. But when you're in that energy, it's always great just to see what thoughts pop up. It's amazing what moments of absolute creativity come. And when they come up, just grab them and move on them. That's what it's really like, following your joy. So it's not like, oh, can't do this today, do it tomorrow. Procrastination is a thief of joy and love in life. Grab it today, move with it, take that first step, make that phone call, go and sign up for a class, open the door and go for a walk. Whatever it is, go do it, cement it, plant the seed, start it moving, because life is just waiting for you to follow your joy. If you're not following your joy and you're not moving as joy, then what are we doing? That right, Star? Move as joy. Joy is really.
That's completely right. And I love it. I pulled a card while you were talking about that one. And this one is the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups has Mercury over here, and then it has Virgo over here. So Mercury and Virgo. Interesting. Mercury is, of course, retrograde. But I'm not really associating it so much with the astrology. What I'm associating this with is that this tree here and then this beautiful family here, this represents our connection to other people. And like Fiona had said, she doesn't know if you were asking for your group or not. And I know that you work with other people, so it might just be you and you're working with other people, but it's connecting in a community, in a group with other people, and helping each other lift each other up. You know, so much of this world, sadly, I shouldn't say sadly, because everything is what it is, but so much of this world, people are pushing each other down as opposed to holding each other's hand and pulling each other up, right? And so there's a lot of that in this world. You know, I tend to be a little optimistic and try to see the beauty in everything. So I do see a lot of people holding each other and pulling each other up. But, you know, we do know that just that's the society we live in. This card is about reaching your hand out and not being afraid to help grow. As you can look at the tree, all of these are little seeds that are going to be dropped on the ground, and they're going to blossom, and little people or things are going to grow from that spot. So this card is a card of generations. It's a card of prosperity. It's a card of connectivity. And like Fiona was talking about with the card that she had pulled, is also that's also kind of like, you know, doing that from a space of getting really close to your heart, you know, the divine feminine, as you were saying, Fiona. So it kind of makes sense to me. You know, the divine feminine is what has us growing, right? We wouldn't grow as a species if we didn't have that, you know? And I think that's really an important thing for you to kind of keep in the back of your mind. And as you're saying, you're so grateful you've been connecting to your tribe, which is helping you move forward in your purpose. That's awesome, Sandy. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Welcome. I noticed that Alison Hilt has joined us. Hi, Alison. Lovely you joined us.
Hi,
and
Alison.
She'd love a card as well, Star. So, Alison,
Awesome.
let's pull a card for you. Sure. Okay. I'll just see we both pick something here. I'm back shuffling. I think it's just habit, isn't it?
Yeah. Right? I think it is too. I'm
Oh, nice. Okay, Alison, this one's for you and for the rest of the universe looking in with us right now. Here we go. Nice and intimate. Total surrender.
I love that.
Yeah, just let the energy of this settle for a moment. Total surrender. Oh, I can feel that sort of moving through me as I say it. The whole idea of surrendering. So the message to you today is, Alison, where are you holding on? It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's time for you just to, imagine like the hand holding on tightly. Just look at your hand. You can practice this way. Take your hand this way and open the thumb. I'm getting the camera here. Open the next finger and the next one. Just open them right up and shake your hand out. Shake it out energetically. This is a great sort of exercise for signaling to the universe you're going to let go. Whatever it is you're holding on to is keeping you stuck. And I know you see lots of reasons to hold on to. It feels familiar. It feels comfortable. You're really someone who likes to go for comfort. And hey, you've been doing this for a long time, and maybe you've invested money, and hey, you could lose faith and so on. Doesn't matter. It's like it's the next. It's like you've been going along your path and you've come to this crossroads, and the big neon sign is saying, Alison, surrender, let go now. Okay, so no matter how painful, you're going to be okay. You're going to be caught. You're going to be lovingly supported. The only thing that goes into pain is the self that thinks it needs to protect the status quo. It needs to hold on to, protect and preserve what has been, because it's afraid of you going deeper. It's afraid of you becoming more authentic. That's okay. Take a deep breath, count to 3, and let go. Okay.
I love that. I really do. And the card that come up for you, for me, is the Star card. And I love the Star card, not because that's my name, but also, well, that's one of the reasons. But the reason I really love it is because of what it means. The meaning of the star is whatever you're putting into yourself, you're actually having it reflect back to you. So if you really be aware of your thought process during this time, be aware of your behavior patterns at this time, make sure your desires of what you wish to attain with yourself, your actions and your thoughts are all in alignment. Because if you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to do this, and thinking negative, but you're trying a little bit, but you're really desiring to achieve something, then you're not in alignment, right? You need everything to be in alignment for it to work. So if your thought patterns are kind of off, it's time to readjust those. If your actions are off, if you're doing something that isn't helpful, like you need to get up because you want to, work your own business, but you lay in bed till 10 o'clock and that's not really conductive to you, working your own business. And I'm just using this as an example, then you need to change your behaviors, and something needs to be put in alignment a little bit, and this would help you in that sense, remembering that whatever you're reflecting into yourself and wanting to achieve your goals and your desires is what you will be receiving back. So making sure that they're in an equal value to each other. Otherwise, it's, you're receiving halfway of what you want because you're halfway doing, acting, thinking what you want, as opposed to really making them all in alignment and making it all happen for yourself. So that is the Star card. And the message I always think about and relate to this card is what is reflected in the water. The star is reflected in the water is also what's up above. So it's important to kind of remember that metaphor for yourself. So
do you not find stars? It's incredible, isn't it? How we think we can pick and choose. So the 2 cards that we picked there for Alison, for us, it's and the letting go and the bringing things into alignment. We think we can pick and choose. We can be fair weather friends with this whole evolution thing. Oh, this far, no further. And it's so blinding. We can so easily blindside ourselves. And we've done it so far, we're good. And we're looking at everyone else and thinking they're not making a good job. And it's us, reflection of us, So it's a whole job. it's all in, just jumping right in there. But
right, and it's all of us. We're like you said it. It's not like just Allison. I love you, Allison. She's like one of my nieces, but she's not. We're not literally related, but like that's how close we are. So thank you for coming. But like, you know, in my sense of knowing her, I know it's not just her in that sense. It's all of us. We all do this to ourselves. It's all part of our evolution, our growth, our healing, you know, and sometimes we need that gentle reminder. I mean, I can't tell you how many times you've given me that gentle nudge and said, hey, Starlene, you know, remember who you are. You know, and
it's like, stop.
Right.
Oh, it's so, gee. Yeah, it's an amazing journey. Yes, there was something I wanted to come back to. Sandy, you said, is that your deck? I just wanted to answer, yes, it actually is. This is a Sea of Calm deck. I have one design in pastel in the back, and each of these are one of my mandala paintings. So years ago, I was a real silk mandala artist. I did nothing but mandalas, and I decided to pull them all together and create a Sea of Calm deck, which I now use for my reading. So yes, they are my babies. So thanks for asking. Yeah,
you can purchase them off of your Etsy shop, right?
That is right. You can get them off the Silken Circle Etsy shop, and people can also message me at info@silkencircle.com and on the Facebook page and so on. Yeah, so I ship them all over. So they're I think they're including shipping. It's about 56 Canadian, which is about what's 3/4 of that. You can do the math. I can't think right now, but it's something like I don't know, 30. I can't remember. Anyway, get your calculator out. That includes the shipping. So 56 to the US would include tracked shipping. So great.
That's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, it's funny. I just noticed that we actually match again today.
We do. Actually, let's be honest. We get in touch 5 minutes before and we say, let's color coordinate. We run through to do the same thing. Oh,
so funny. I love the scarf. Is that one of yours?
No, it's not. Look at this. It's lovely cashmere. I don't know if you can see that. And it's got all these sequins sewn all over it. It was made by a lovely friend of mine called Rita Herraiz, Hraiz, Rita Herraiz. And she's got this company called Mudra, Mudra. And she creates these gorgeous thick clothing out of bamboo, cashmere. She's done silks in the past, and the really, really vibrant things are for women who are evolving, women who want to step into their power. And she's got all the chakra colors. And at the time I bought this a few years ago, I don't know if she's still got these, but she's constantly working on new collections, bringing them out and new styles. And this has been one of one of my staples. You know, it's cozy and warm, and I love wearing it. So
it's gorgeous.
Thank you, Rita. Yeah, I just realized I can't actually write in the box here, can I? I can see what people are commenting, but I can't add anything. But anyway, if anybody's not sure, you can message and ask.
I can add something. What is the email or her contact?
Well, her name is Rita Herraiz, Hraiz. And her company, her clothing company is called Mudra, which is lovely. So she's you know, you can Google her. I was going to say she's Googleable. I don't even know if that's a word.
You just made it a word.
Googleable. Also, it's Hraiz, Herraiz. Hraiz. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember correctly. I can't remember what country her mother's from. It's some African state. I'm not sure. Yeah. So
that's lovely. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, and she actually, it's amazing. We met in Glastonbury when I lived there many moons ago. And the funny thing is, our houses were opposite each other. And in those days, she wanted to learn how to paint on silk. And I taught her to paint, and we had great fun. I mean, she was a real color expert. And she just oozes lovely feminine energy and empowerment and color. And we did the painting together thoroughly. There we go, Mudra collection. Thank you,
Thank
Cindy.
you, Sandy.
Check out her stuff. It's really gorgeous. She's just, and she's an amazing woman as well. She's constantly in motion and moving and empowering people and inspiring people. Great. So yeah, so that's my wrap for today. Yeah. So what else has been going on for you?
So yeah, well, I am putting together my serious astrology school. I don't know if we talked about this last week or not. I talked about it in other videos that I've done, but I was really busy putting the workshops together because it was a day-long workshop, but it was so fantastic. Even my daughter came, which was awesome, you know. She actually goes to that college, but I've been putting together my astrology school, and it's an apprenticeship program, so it's not just, you know, like a class like you're going to take like I taught this weekend. It's actually going to be some time. I haven't figured out, but I think it's going to be about 2 years, maybe 2.5, because it's
right.
Yeah, it's teaching all of the vibrational astrology, you know, theoretical framework, because we do use evidence-based approach to vibrational astrology. And it's interesting because someone in the workshop I did had asked me, you know, David Cochran was my teacher who basically started vibrational astrology and has taught, you know, a bunch of us now, and some of us are now starting to teach. And she had said, is this his idea or yours? And I said, well, actually, that's interesting you say that, because it's a theoretical framework that we have tested these theories out. Do they work? You know, and if they work, then they become part of the theoretical framework. So yes, it is. It's others, you know, it's other ideas that we have come together as a group, as researchers, because I'm one of the researchers, to do. And, you know, we're, you know, sharing that. So I'm really excited about that, about doing that. Classes will start in September. So that's going to be really exciting. I will be having, in the next week or two, I'll have the syllabus outline on the website, and I'll have figured out the actual, you know, if it's going to be 2 or 2.5 years long. But I have been recording some videos for that as well, which aren't public. They're going to be for people, for my students. But, you know, it's a lot of work that goes into that, which makes me think about something you're doing too. You know, tell me a little bit about your teaching that you're working on.
Right. Okay. So I'm putting together a series of silk painting classes. They're going to be online, and they're going to be offered through a company that has a platform specifically for that. That's where I'm going to start, because it's quite complicated and quite involved to do it yourself. So I thought I'll start with what's there, see what the response is, you know, and if it goes well, I can always expand and then sort of take a bit more control over it. So I'm going to do silk painting classes, and yesterday I was really working on the, you know, focusing on target market. Who's this for? That's always such a big question, isn't it? Who exactly are you working for here? And although I have, on the one hand, many people contact me all the time through my blog. So I've had a blog for about 10 years, I think now, and my YouTube channel, and they both started off as silk painting techniques places. So I got to know many people in early days through that. I would post a video, and people would start to ask questions. They'd email me and say, hey, Fiona, thanks, I'm doing this, I'm stuck. What am I doing wrong? And I would spend all my time troubleshooting. And then as time went by, I thought to myself, well, I could actually pull some of that together. And I actually made years ago, about 6 years ago, I made a DVD, and I sold it. I would actually burn them and send them off physical DVDs, because that was the way we did it.
Right.
And it was, it was tricky, because, you know, things can go wrong with that when you're burning them. And there was the occasional one, you know, that the recording hadn't worked that well, and we had to sort of resend and so on. And over the last few years, people have continued to ask me, and I've been thinking about it. So now we're doing it, and it just means that I can reach out to sort of those who've never done anything before, do some really easy peasy 1, 2, 3 in a nutshell stuff. But the main body of it for people who've maybe jumped in and really needing lots of help. So I'll be able to say, come on, this is what we do. This is how you avoid all the mistakes. This is how you cut corners. And I'm going to show you. So the idea is I'm going to stop competing in the world of Chinese mass productions. That honestly, and I'm going to just go to sharing my expertise and enabling people to go out there, and I'm going to share with them all my hints and tips and expertise over the years. That feels, well, I'm in my second Saturn return, and it feels a bit like, you know, that whole thing, the legacy and what I've amassed over all these years, and it's time to just give it back. So I'm just packaging it all together and sort of spilling out everything I've got and putting it into a course. So yeah, so I'll be busy for a while. You know what it's like when you get busy, you need to bunker yourself in. I think you'll probably find the same. You really do, don't you?
You do. You really do.
Yeah. It gets
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Do you notice that the people around you when you do that, they're kind of like, what's going on with you? You're just like, I'm just doing my thing in here, you know, making my magic or whatever it is, you know? And then as you share it, it's understood more. So your videos will be able to teach people how to make like the flag, the chakra flag, for instance, behind you. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's obviously you're gonna
intricate. Yeah.
You're gonna need a bit of know-how to do it. However, I reckon that sort of thing, that's a very good idea to have that as a specific project, making a big chakra banner. Actually, that would be really good. And my first 2 courses are going to be like everything you need to know about silk supplies and understanding silks and their properties and how you use them, understanding like dyes and paints and the difference between them so that you can confidently make choices in buying your stuff, and also how to really buy on a shoestring budget. And then I'm going to dive into everything you need to know about, well, I'm saying everything, but basically what you need to know about techniques. So that I'm going to show you A, B, C, D, E, how to do this technique, how to do that one, how to do that one, and how to be careful, you know, that you don't make this mistake and that mistake. And then after that, I'm just going to start to jump in. I could say, for example, we're going to make one of these together. You're going to need so and so many hours probably, and go through it step by step. So that's the idea. And I mean, you know, it could even be things that later, when I've found my feet with it, could even have things like moms and kids, you know, sort of easy 1, 2, 3, moms and kids, few projects, come and do these together with me. So I don't know. And I just suppose, as in life, you know, lots of people say, well, you've got this other side of you, you know, that loves to sort of dig deep, and you do your readings and you write in your blog. But I don't know about you. I find that when you're connecting with people and doing this, your work, it's just you're connecting with that all the time, aren't you? And you're letting it flow all the time. So whether I'm doing a reading or whether I'm standing there teaching how to paint the silk, it's still me you get. So like when people are coming to you for a reading, it's you and your particular vibration, isn't it? So it's not so much that we want to know all about the different transitions and the different conjunctions, and I don't know much about astrology at all. But you know, coming to you is like people will come to you because they want to spend a bit of time with Star. They want to be in that vibration. They want to be in that energy. They want a piece of you. So when that transition takes place, they're leaning into you and you're sort of flooding them and opening up to what you are, and they're like bathing in that, and then they're going away and what you are has touched them. So that's how we share. All of us, that's how we all share in this planet, isn't it? Just completely and flooding the other as we go. So I guess it doesn't matter what we do, does it?
Right. It's true. And, you know, going back to what you were saying about your first course, it's exciting to me because I'll tell you, I started acrylic painting because of you. You were like, oh, you should just try it. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but I just went and got some canvases and I didn't know what I was doing. And you were like, get primary colors because you can always mix them, and, you know, a little palette. And I started doing that. And you were like, be careful of the black because the black goes a long ways. And I'm like, oh yeah, it sure does. And I just started playing and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I remember asking you so many questions about it that, like, you know, someone that wants to start doing something like that, they don't, you know, I mean, it seems like it would be simple, right? But you go into the art store and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like 100 million things to look at and you don't know what is what, you know? So to know, have at least a little bit of knowledge there, and I imagine your course would give you more than just a little bit of knowledge, but like to know that this is how, what you need and kind of like guide you is really useful if you're wanting to pick up kind of like art form like that. And, you know, I think expression of art, or of the heart, I should say, even both go, you know, work in the same sense. That's important for all of us. You know, if we don't have some kind of expression, I always tell my clients that you don't have some kind of expression of art or creativity in your life, then you need to find that in for you, because that's part of caring for your soul, you know? So they kind of go hand in hand. You know, I know your readings, like you said, and that's one thing, but also your art is also part of something that's very meaningful to you as well. So I think both of it really kind of needs to go hand in hand. I think that's an important kind of part of it that we all, you know, bring to the table as we are, you know, trying to work through our art in and of itself. But I do love that you're going to be sharing that with people and helping people learn. I mean, I know you've been doing that for a long time, but it's really cool that you're able to do it and share with people. You know, this is a new form for me. I'd never heard of silk painting before I met you. You know,
right? It's funny really, because there's so many people that are muddled. So yeah, Sandy and Alison, thanks for showing up, and have a great day as well. Thank you. I think it's give me a prod. I've lost the track. I still find it hard to watch comments. And what were we saying about? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But talking about silk painting, yeah, people, there's a bit of confusion there sometimes, where I say I you know, silk painting, they go, oh, silk screen. They say, no, silk screen is actually a printing process. A printing process, and they happen to use traditionally a piece of silk on the screen. You know, and you pull one of these squeegees over it, silk screen. Well, you can if you're anyway. We're not getting into the printing right now. This is simply about taking actual silk, stretching the screen, and using special dyes that are developed for working on the silk. But it's interesting though, because I've done silk painting for 20 years.
wow.
I've reached a real level of sort of absolute competence, mastery, and I've become an expert. I've refined my technique, and I always had a dream of making clothing. And so over the past year, I sort of lived that out. I started a course, and I created an actual collection and did a marketing course and so on, and it didn't take off. And it was okay, because I decided I was going to do that because I'd always thought of doing it. And I laid it down, I let go. And at the time I laid it down, it was like, well, this is okay. And you've done it for 20 years. And you've reached a point where actually you can't go any further with this. They're gorgeous, they're beautiful, and we're done. And it was that realization, it's like, you know, we're done. We're actually done, and it's okay just to put them down, let go, and then go on and do something else. So that was when the idea came, to just gracefully say, okay, so take your hands off them, step back, and you can use your teaching expertise to create the classes. It's using what I've learned all these years and now packaging it into something useful for others. I don't know about you, when you find that you're in the business world, Star, it's like, People connect with you on all these platforms, don't they? They connect with you on Facebook, they connect with you on Instagram, they connect with you on YouTube. And the people who are up and running and have their businesses, and they'll message you and email you, and they want to know what dyes you use. They want to know where you got your stones. They want to know where you got your supplies. They want to know how you made such a good job of this and that, and it goes on and on. And basically, they want to know it because they want to incorporate it into their business and make their things better because they want to get more sales. And that's okay. I actually see that. I mean, it takes a bit of a, I'm not quite that brazen. I've never done that to anybody, hey, give me all your secrets. I want to do that as well. But I think I just want to make the point that there are so many people out there watching you, watching every step. They're admiring it. They're wanting to be able to do it too. So it's okay to then step back and say, hey, well, we can put together a product that might help you. And then from that point of view, if I'm becoming sharing the techniques, like you're sharing come and learn how to do this yourself. There's no sense of holding things back and being fearful. It's nice because the whole nature of it means, well, I can just pour everything that I know into this. Here we go. My favorite tips, my best tips, here you go. My worst experience, here you go. How can you sidestep this? Here you go. And it's so nice just to be able to just pour it all in there and say, take this and run with it. And if you're successful, 10 times more successful in your shops and so on, then great. That's the way it's meant to be. So
yeah. That's interesting that you say it, because I'm relating that to myself and even astrology, because I get a lot of people that ask questions about astrology. And, I always loved teaching. It's always been, when I was a little girl, I would pretend to be a teacher. I mean, little like toddler, like little girl, like I pretend I was my blackboard and, that kind of thing. And I always thought that that's what I would do. And for a long time, I taught Reiki. I still do. But that was like my main focus. And then, I started doing the creative work with my jewelry and that sort of stuff. And then the painting I never did and ever intended on doing for work. And then I went to the astrology school and wanted to learn that. And then as I was going through it, I'm like, gosh, I want to teach this too. I want to share this with other people, because so many people ask me questions. And so many people will have different ideas about it. And in the world of astrology, probably much like in the world of like silk painting, there's a million different ways you can do it. And no way in my idea of astrology is any way is perfect, or correct, right? It's what is right to you. And, in my sense, I thought, gosh, it would be really nice to put it all together and share it with people, and this in like a nice little package, like this is how you want to do it. And what you were saying about earlier, like who am I like trying to teach to? I'm trying to teach to people that would like to either know astrology or to actually become professionals. That's something that I would like to share, because people will email me long messages and want to talk about this and that in their chart, and I'd love to have those conversations with them, which takes up tons of time and it's hard to do with a bunch of people. But at the same time, if I'm able to share that knowledge with a group in a way, I think that that's like a really good way to pass on, the knowledge that I have been given, and have, worked at in my own sense to attain, work with, as opposed to just doing readings, which I love doing consultations. Don't get me wrong. I really do love doing that. But there's like, there's a difference between that and then sharing the knowledge and the teaching. So that's kind of why I was like, and, since about 2015 is when I had the idea of, I'm going to start my astrology school. And it just was so much in my life had gone on since then. I hadn't had the opportunity to actually start to iron that out. And finally, I'm like, this is the year I'm going to do it. This is it. I did it a couple weeks ago, and I'm just moving forward with it, and this is it. This is my time to do this, and the universe is pushing me in that direction. It just is. It's interesting to see how that flows for me too. And going back to even being a child, like I always wanted to teach, and here I am teaching astrology.
It's so funny. Teaching way back when I was tiny, and people used to ask, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. And I did become a teacher, and I went to university and I got a teaching degree, but I didn't go into formal teaching.
Right.
I didn't. And when I was really tiny, I also wanted to, I said to people, I'm going to become a world famous artist.
That's funny.
It's so funny. It's like, you like just as if as a young kid, I knew exactly the art and the teaching. And here I am in my second Saturn return, sort of pulling the teaching and the art together. But one thing I wanted to mention, when like you said a few minutes ago, the moment is right for this. It seems to be right for both of us. We get propelled forward. There was no commitment before, but it's like that commitment's there now. And I found, you can share with me how it was for you. I found that the minute the commitment was there, and I put down my silk painting business. I put it down. I decided not to do it anymore. And I've just severed the ties and said goodbye lovingly. And it's just slowly going into the back room. It's not gone forever, but it's in the back room. It's like it's an extra. It's a side gig, as they call it. And I decided to go for recording the online classes. And the minute that I decided I'm going to do it, and I started to get focused, and I started to buy equipment and do tutorials and learn software and blah, 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 and do trials, it was like the universe was saying, right, do you really mean this? Here we go. And you're going to laugh. The funny thing is that all these so-called competitors, people, they started to come out the woodwork.
Oh my.
It's like when I thought, whoa. And it was almost like they were trying to wobble me. They were trying to shake me in my foundations. I thought
Right.
I'd done homework, I'd done research. You do some research, you see what competitors are doing, you see what similar products look like, and you find out there's a market and what people are already offering and how you can go one better and blah de blah, and where the people's real needs are, the potential students. And it was just so funny to see how people started coming forward, and I thought, how come I didn't see them before? How come I didn't see them? Yeah. And so now I'm just getting past the shake, and I'm stabilizing, and I'm thinking blinkers on and keep going forward. Can I I just noticed Kyla's come on board, Star, and
Hi, Kyla.
do we want to sort of, we can come back to this, and you can talk about your commitment and how it was for you. Perhaps we could speak to Kyla for a moment. Hi, Kyla.
Sure. We can definitely do that. We can pull a card for you, Kyla. Sure. Not a problem. So, let's see here. What card is going to come up for you? Okay. I'm going to start since I have one in my hand.
Sure.
And I'm going to pull us a little closer so you can see the cards a little better. This is the Saki Saki Tarot. So this is the Artist Tarot. That's what it's nicknamed. And this is the Chariot card. As you see, there's two dragons in the front. And it means fast movement. It could mean a literal move, or it could mean that you need to move or act on something right now. It's one of the major arcana cards. So the tarot is the two parts to the tarot. There's the minor arcana, which is much like a deck of playing cards, and then those are the things that deal with the mundane parts of our lives, the everyday things in our lives. The higher arcana, which the Chariot is part of one, and like the Empress and the Lovers, those cards are meaning, they're kind of like spiritual lessons. So there's something in your life that you're being nudged to go do with yourself, something important for you to kind of take a moment and say, hey, I need to move forward with this. It's interesting that Fiona and I were just talking about how we are moving forward with our own work, right? And here this card comes up for you. So maybe it's also talking to Fiona and I. But it's saying move. It's saying this is the time to take action. You've been thinking about something, and this could be regarding anything in your life. This is not a full reading or anything, but it's time for you to take action upon something, and don't be afraid of it, to make the move, to not let fear or ego to hold you back. So take action on something. And maybe Fiona's card will give you a little bit more insight as to what that action might be.
Okay, yeah, it's really interesting. We're working in tandem here, Kyla. So the card I've picked for you is Thy Will Be Done. And it's really interesting how one of the major arcanas come up from Star's deck. This is one of my 7 powerful chakra cards in my deck. So it really is an important message. You're getting a double flag here. the solar plexus chakra, thy will be done. So it's about surrendering to divine will, surrendering to what's being asked of you right now. And I would really agree. It's you've been asked to respond on a very, very deep level. There's something being required of you. And it's interesting. We spoke about this earlier in today's show about not, getting past comfort zone and not being concerned with how much maybe pain or discomfort or worry you come into. That's only personal stuff and it's not important. Thy will be done. This is something that will change the trajectory of, that's a hard one to say, of your life. And it's about you putting personal will to one side and allowing the bigger picture to step in. So if you really feel that you've been drawn to make some major choice right now and it could really take you out of your comfort zone, go for it, follow that. It's about your evolution. That's what you're here for. This is one of those probably prime key moments, crossroads you've reached, and it's asking you to put everything down, get onto your knees, get onto the floor, do what you can, and it's about passing through the eye of the needle, isn't it? It's about not taking all your baggage with you. So it could be that tiny little keyhole you see there, reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. She's a bit big, but make yourself small enough, drop it all and go. Yeah, it'll all be good. Deep breath, and then you go. Okay.
I like that. That's really awesome. I think that's important for us to do too, to make sure that we take that deep breath and that we do allow ourselves to move forward from what we're doing, not to allow ourselves to be too stagnant. They always say that when we're too stagnant, things kind of get to be where they're a challenge for us. We're not growing, and we don't always have to be growing in life, but it's important for us to be moving, through whatever it is that we're moving through. So I love those two cards together. I hope that was helpful for you, Kyla.
Nice.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear how it goes. So we're hoping to be on here sort of on a regular basis. So do come back and let us know, Kyla, how things go for you. It's always sweet to touch base with people again, isn't it? And
yeah, totally. Yeah. And also I wanted to say that if you guys have anybody watching in the present or in the future, you can leave a comment you can message me or Fiona, or you can leave a comment on the YouTube or the Facebook videos and tell us if there's a better time better day that you might see us, that might be better for you to catch us live, because we're just doing this our second video together. But if there's another time that like a bunch of people are like, oh, on this day at this time would be much better, we might be able to rearrange something, in that sense. But we want to, make a community of people that come to see us and talk to us. So feel free to, give us your insight or thoughts about that as well. And if anybody else would like a card, feel free to ask for a card, a message before we wind up this particular show.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? I mean, in today's busy lives, it's always, we sometimes have commitments on certain days, and it could be that something's sort of screaming out, oh, this should be Friday morning, or it should be Monday evening, or whatever. And as you say, Star, it'd be great to know people who feel really drawn to this, and they'll say, oh, this would actually work better for us. And
right.
So see whatever opens up. And I like it's just nice to sort of be there and go with the flow, and whatever opens and whatever asks and moves, and just to stick with that. One thing that sticks in my mind before we finish off today, I wanted to come back and just ask you about commitment. So that story I was sharing about people, competitors coming at the woodwork and things that trying to wobble me and say, do you really mean this seriously? So was there anything for you once you really made the decision? Was there anything that tried in the universe to wobble you?
Yeah, I think more it was myself than anything, any particular person or situation. I think it was more just me making the commitment to myself, because I'm that type of person who will contemplate something. I don't know if you're like this, Fiona, but I will contemplate something till the cows come home. I won't act upon it. But when I act upon it, there's no stopping me. I'm just there. So it was like me getting over my own head trip in that sense, I'm old enough to know, I've been here enough in this body, in this lifetime to know that this is me. And I'm like, I know I'm going to do this. And, 2015, I was in school still. And that's when I started to decide to, and I was actually just graduating and I was like, I'm going to do this, but I'm just like, and then there was so many obstacles in my life that I must say, admit to myself that I allowed to get in front of me from pushing myself and taking that step. But, once I said, what, either I'm going to do this or I'm going to become, old and not do this, so I need to get my act together. And that's kind of where my mindset went. I had to just get over my head, so it's interesting how we have different reasons and different things that have kind of like thrown in front of us. Trust me, there's been a million situations. I mean, I had health situations last year that have popped up that kept me from doing things. I had, situations just with this and this and this, and just life, but I had to say, hey, this is me. And even to have a conversation with a few people that were pulling on my time, which I was allowing them to pull on my time, people I love that I want to spend time with, and say, hey, listen, I want to spend time with you. We'll do that too. But I also need to cut out this time for me for this, and I had to actually say that to a few people, because if I didn't, it was like, I'm just spending my time with my loved ones, which I love doing too. That was part of my trip up, that as opposed to working on what I really wanted to focus on. So that was part of it. But I really had to make that commitment to myself. And once I do, though, I know that commitment is like, once I get the ball rolling, it's like downhill rolling and you're not stopping it.
It's amazing. I'm more, I'll sit down and I sometimes shock people by how quickly I make my mind up about things. It's like, and I'll make my mind up and boom. And then they won't see me for dust. And the next day I've already put the first paving stones in place. I've made a plan. It's like, oh, you're doing it. I say, yeah, because I said I was doing it. And I suppose for the silk painting thing now, it wobbled me I was still doing and I was moving, but the self was going, oh, there are already things out there, and there's already yeah, we know. Do you know what I was going to read to you? Something that I've got beside my workplace. I read this out to a group yesterday, but I'm going to read it out here. It's a quote by Ramana Maharshi, and he says, "Whatever is destined not to happen will not happen, try as you may. Whatever is destined to happen will happen, do what you may to prevent it. This is certain. The best course, therefore, is to remain silent."
Oh,
I love that.
I love that too. That's beautiful.
And it's just, all the teachers will tell you this, and it's something that I know to be true. If I'm going to do something, I'll do it. It's like it's my script. We'll not get into that now because I realize it's time, but don't get me going on scripts. It's like, if this is in there, it's in there. Like, it will happen. And what makes us suffer and makes us have struggles and difficulties is us as a person digging our heels in and trying to slow it down, where we know deep in our hearts, this is going to happen.
That's me.
It's going to happen.
I have this and this and this going on. Hold on.
Like, you can take 20 years to do this, or you can do it like that. You can do it really fast.
And you were so right. In that instant that I was like, okay, I'm doing this now, it was like, already, boom, boom, boom. Overnight, I started putting things together, and then I'm like, okay, I can announce this. And then I elected a date by astrology when I was going to announce it. And then I elected a date of when I was going to open it, and it was like all within like a whole night. And I'm like, I waited all this time for what? Like, it was kind of like tripping myself out in a way, your mind.
We need to say yes, and we need to move. So Spirit is just showing us, next page, here we go. You're moving to Ayers Rock. You're moving to Alice Springs, and and you can spend the next 10 years humming and hawing and digging your heels in, or you can just say, all right, let's apply for visas, let's get our stuff packed, let's sell up our house. So that's the difference, isn't it? It's just getting started. And I'm really understanding how your life can move faster and with so much flow when you just see it for what it is and say, yes, that's next. It's like, show me how high to jump, sir. What do I need to do next? That is it, isn't it? And
It totally is.
following divine orders. But that's a topic for the rest of our lives.
Yes, it totally is a topic for the rest of our lives. That's very true.
Oh, so
Awesome.
yeah. Wow. So did we
So
we
yeah,
had
why don't we share with everybody the special that we wanted to share? You can go ahead first if you'd like. And information to contact us is on the bottom of the screen, as you can see it, to email us.
so that's Starlene Breiter at gmail.com.
Yep.
And you can connect with me at info@silkencircle.com. And just to clarify, how long do we want to keep this this offer open for? And bear in mind, this is the first time we've sort of done it. Do we want to stretch it and give a bit more leeway this time, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, why don't we do it? Why don't we do it for the next, like, say 5 hours or so? Like, maybe I think it's fair, and then maybe when we'll do other things afterwards. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. Yeah.
So like now it is 5 o'clock EST. So over in the UK, that's another 5 hours. It's 10 o'clock in the evening. Obviously, people over in Europe are going to bed, but this is more relevant for the Americas, isn't it? So 5 hours from 5 p.m. onwards until 10 p.m. tonight EST. This special offer on readings that Star and I are offering. And what it means is, if you see this video or you're live now and you see our 2 emails, you can message us at these emails and say, yes, I'd like to take advantage of your special offer for your readings. So Star, what's your special offer?
Yeah, my special offer today is going to be a consultation with astrology or tarot. It needs to be 30 minutes or more, and it's $1 a minute. So it will be $30 for 30 minutes. It'll be $60 for 60 minutes. And like Fiona said, it's only for the next 5 hours. But we don't have to do it in the next 5 hours if you're busy, but you have to order it before then. And you can message me or through Facebook or whatnot, or you can just email me, and that will work. So
okay.
And what about yours, Fiona? What are you offering?
So mine's in Canadian dollars, so I'm just doing the maths of it here. So I'm just offering a Canadian dollar $50 reading for an hour. So 3/4 of that. So we're looking at about 37.38. So it's under. It should just be under $40 for an hour. I'll do a reading with you on Skype or Zoom. Actually, Zoom's more preferable. It's easier to make recordings there. And if you email me before 10 o'clock on Eastern time, or that will be 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, then you can book a reading with me for $50 for the hour, Canadian dollars. Okay.
Awesome. Well, it was wonderful having you here, Fiona. So thank you so much for being here with me.
You're welcome. It was fun. I'm really sort of. It's nice. It feels like old times. We should have the tea on, shouldn't we?
I know, right?
We should get the biscuits out.
Well, we'll have to do it again soon. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and hope that we can sort of get the word out. And this will be going up on YouTube, correct?
Yep, it's up on the YouTube Live right now, and it will just be continuing up on YouTube. Yep, and on Facebook. So, yep.
Right. And so if people find this on Facebook and listen to it, they can continue to leave messages underneath if they want to contact us, correct? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, great.
That is
so
right.
Look forward to that.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, looking forward to next time. Hopefully we can come and have another chat and put the world to rights. some readings for everyone that tunes in with us. Yeah.
All right. Well, Fiona, you have a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you, everybody that watched. I really, really appreciate it. And we will see you on the next one. Okay.
Lovely. Bye.
Bye-bye.